Mendeecees has triggered new rumors by alleging that Erica is using a covert DNA test to harm his reputation. Rumors of secret lab reports and leaked messages have flooded social media, leaving fans split and desperate for answers. No one is certain of what actually transpired behind closed doors, but everyone is talking. Regarding it, did Erica really set up a private test to trick Mendeecees? Or is this just another development in their complex relationship as screenshots of rushed text messages and nervous voice notes go online? If so, why would Erica do this? The couple's closest friends and family have been drawn into the discussion, offering contradictory accounts that only serve to heighten the mystery. At one point, a sincere apology seems possible, but at another, viewers are left wondering which version of events to believe. She felt desperate, and why would Mendeecees react so strongly unless there was more to the story? Fans are riveted to their computers, scanning through every update in the hopes of finding a hint that reveals the truth, as suspicions of manipulation take center stage. Join us as we sort through the rumors, look at the facts, and investigate the chance that this DNA test claim might completely alter Erica and Mendeecees' story. The following few minutes could completely alter your understanding of their story. In a fog of late-night scrolling and incessant rumors, the rumor mill around Erica and Mendeecees burst into it all began when an anonymous user on a well-known website shared what it said were photographs of confidential lab chats. In these grainy pictures, a technician purportedly detailed managing a quick DNA sample under a false identity with rigorous instructions to circumvent any notification systems. The caption claims that before males even realized a test was underway, Erica had set up a false identity to obtain results. Desperate fans instantly started analyzing every pixel, focusing on timestamps and phone numbers. In a grainy 6-second video clip posted to his private page, Mendeecees looked away from the camera and replied, "I never signed off on that," in a quick but cryptic remark that demonstrated the scandal was more than just hearsay. Some viewers thought he was denying any knowledge of a DNA test, while others thought he was hinting to a betrayal so profound it couldn't be. But the film ended abruptly, leaving viewers desperate for clarity. Addressed in a straightforward statement, the uncertainty sparked overnight discussions about whether Erica actually designed a covert test, or if this was a plot by someone looking to destroy their relationship. Meanwhile, the original lab screenshots took on a life of their own, and fan accounts started comparing public records to confirm whether the lab and technician names even existed. After searches yielded no results, rumors turned to accusations of Photoshop or intentional falsification to undermine Erica. One self-described internet detective released a video guide explaining how to discover a fake leak that revealed discrepancies in the typeface and file metadata. While doubters hailed the exposé as proof that the entire narrative was a fabrication, Erica's fans screamed foul and accused the blogger of bias. Behind closed doors, tensions between Mendeecees and Erica increased. After a brief audio clip emerged, an individual close to Erica subsequently detailed a heated phone conversation that went viral. In the recording, Erica's voice sounded raw and strained. "I just needed to know where I stood." "You promised me honesty," Mendeecees said in a defensive tone. "If I wanted a test, I'd talk to you first." He continued softly after a pause. "But it's too late now." The conversation stopped suddenly, leaving listeners to wonder if their love could withstand such a betrayal. The authenticity of the recording was never verified, but its emotional impact was evident as these personal interactions spread, and the public started to respond. Social media pages devoted to the pair were overrun with surveys asking whether Erica should have told him first and whether Mendeecees was right to be angry. Debate threads with thousands of comments from supporters. Mendeecees supporters maintained that open communication was the cornerstone of any partnership in secret, while Erica's supporters contended that expecting a pregnant woman to ask for her father's consent for security reasons violated her privacy. A friend of Mendeecees, who claimed to have seen text exchanges between him and Erica's manager, surfaced amid this online hysteria, claiming that the management said, "We're playing for keeps, rush this or it's off the table." The posts contained brief exchanges of dialogue that had been meticulously edited to remove phone numbers. But because they showed tone and context, viewers debated whether the statements showed sincere concern for the child's future or a callous plan to secure headlines. Once more, the veracity was questioned, but for those who were craving excitement, every message seemed like a clue in a real-life mystery. As the tale progressed, Erica's own family became entangled in the chaos, and her sister Omar Rosa shared a heartfelt video plea imploring, "She's carrying a life." Omar Rosa begged through quivering lips, urging fans to respect Erica's emotional state. "You're punishing her for seeking answers." Both sympathy and skepticism were sparked by the video clip, which was shared thousands of times. Critics said that Omar Rosa's emotional defense was purposefully posted during a period of high outrage to influence public opinion, while defenders argued that Omar Rosa's intervention was acceptable due to family loyalty. On the other hand, Mendeecees' family also stepped out, with his cousin Jamal insisting on a late-night webcast that Mendeecees had never wavered in his love for Erica. This moment solidified the idea that what had started out as a private affair had turned into public property. When the DNA report came out, Jamal recalled how his cousin had been thrilled about becoming a father, looking into parenting classes and purchasing nursery furnishings. "I'm all in, but I need to know the truth," Jamal said. Jamal's devotion was evident, but other viewers wondered if his story covered up any possible flaws in Mendeecees' devotion. Once more, two stories split, forcing fans to pick sides in a war of contradicting accounts. The drama took a new turn. When a brief video of an overheard conversation at a fundraiser appeared, a lady who looked like Erica could be heard stating, "This will secure his future." Another voice, thought to be that of a producer, could be heard saying the same thing, replied, "Just make sure it's airtight." Although the audio was garbled and the video was unsteady, many believed that the subtitles conveyed the main idea of the conversation. The back and forth over the clip highlighted how every dropped snippet could be contested, trapping viewers in a cycle of uncertainty. Some claimed the video had been doctored, while others confirmed Erica was weaponizing the DNA test. Forensic. Audio experts weighed in, arguing the background noise suggested it was recorded in a different location. While mainstream media started to offer their own opinions, a prominent entertainment magazine released an article headed "DNA Drama. Are Erica's motivations pure or publicity-driven?" The headline caused a stir on the internet. The author of the piece spoke with relationship experts who analyzed the moral ramifications of secret tests and commended openness between partners. The article ended by pointing out that, regardless of the truth, the whole story demonstrated how reality TV had made it harder to distinguish between private suffering and public spectacle. In the midst of the commotion, the lab at the center of the scandal remained strangely silent. Requests for comment were ignored, and the technician whose texts were revealed remained unidentified. Readers flocked to the comment area, many of them complaining that a personal crisis had become clickbait. The uncertainty only prompted followers to delve deeper, searching esoteric trial attorney forums and medical blogs for any indication of the confidential sample. Some bloggers conjectured that the lab had received legal threats, while others thought it was a red herring. The emotional stakes increased as Part 1 neared its halfway point. Some fans voiced sorrow, noting that a relationship that had once felt joyful had turned into a battlefield of lies. Evidence felt like a collective obsession, with viewers searching everywhere for the truth. "I just want them to talk it out." One remark read, "This is why I stopped watching reality TV." Another user said, "Everyone's trauma becomes a storyline." The realization that actual lives and genuine emotions were being swallowed like entertainment was suggested by those infrequent observations within the commotion. However, just when the chaos appeared to be leveling off, a new leak surfaced. The text of Erica was prepared to disclaim any covert DNA plot in the draft public statement from her team, claiming that the screenshots were fake misinformation. The statement also expressed Erica's hope for compassionate understanding. From the general public, the existence of this draft implied that Erica's team had previously foreseen the controversy and planned a reaction. For some, this was evidence of premeditation, while for others, it was a sign of caution. In any case, it meant that the next phase of this story would entail a meticulously planned struggle for public favor. Wishful admirers started to speculate about what would happen next. Would Erica's draft statement be the final word, or would she conduct a news conference? Would Mendeecees agree to a joint public DNA test to stop the rumors? One thing was certain as the online community buzzed with predictions. The Rush DNA test rumor had turned into a sprawling saga. Friends close to the couple suggested that attempts at reconciliation were underway by hinting at secret meetings with coaches and mediators. With all these layers of rumors, leaks, and family viewpoints, the question that everyone was thinking about was not just, did Erica request a secret DNA test, but rather, who stands to gain from keeping it? As part one of this intricate drama came to an end, fans braced themselves for the next act, in which family interventions and legal threats were made. And just when you think you know the truth, keep in mind that nothing in the world of celebrity scandals is ever quite what it seems. Potentially, a shocking revelation would take the tale into uncharted territory. The ramifications from the supposed secret DNA test extended through every Mendeecees camp swiftly stepped forward to defend them when Erica's team released a draft denial labeling the leaked screenshots fake news, leaving fans searching for answers and insiders rushing to contain the damage. His legal advisors persuaded him to write a statement that struck a careful balance in a late-night conference. They expressed concern and hinted at treachery, but they did not name Erica or the lab. As a result, a grainy video clip surfaced on a reliable fan. Page, I love our family, but trust needs to be earned. I'm looking forward to clarification. Fans are amazed by his patience. Some applauded his calmness, while others criticized his ambiguity. Emotions were running high as everyone analyzed every word and glance, for Erica's close circle came together to defend her while the public analyzed Mendeecees' enigmatic message. A small gathering at a private studio meant to be a show of solidarity was leaked when one visitor revealed a segment on a gossip podcast, and others characterized Erica as both. She practiced quietly looking into a hand mirror while crying and practicing a meaningful on-camera apology. Critics quickly jumped in, claiming that such careful scripting demonstrated supporters, however, maintained that she was only getting ready to reclaim her story. The family was split, with Erica's sister Omar Rosa posting a heartfelt appeal for sympathy and her mother frantically trying to quell reports of internal strife on the other side. In a live stream, Mendeecees' cousin Jamal defended his cousin and urged viewers to see past the headlines. However, when asked if Mendeecees would consent to a voluntary DNA test, Jamal faltered. Amid these divisive camps, the reality show network found itself walking a tightrope, as each stolen email or shaky video clip sparked online discussions. Ratings had surged. However, legal advisors warned that airing scandal-driven information would expose the show to defamation lawsuits. Writers created a mid-season update segment that combined Erica's humanitarian efforts with subtle acknowledgments of the rumors, were followed by counsel review and revision of every line. Producers argued over whether to conceal faces in unapproved material or to leave them out completely, which fueled rumors that the network was secretly altering footage to protect one celebrity over another. As crisis management procedures unfolded, new leaks kept the story alive. An unverified audio clip allegedly from a leaked group chat among Erica's closest friends appeared online. Executives acknowledged that the show's future depended on handling this controversy without losing credibility. One speaker in the clip said, "If the test is negative, ignore it. If it's positive, publicly announce it." Another voice said, "And we adhere to the narrative that was all about the baby's future." The subtitles left little room for doubt, but the voices were unintelligible. Fans are horrified by the calculating coldness, and their emotions were running high. Alongside these developments, private communications within Mendeecees' camp started to leak as the video continued to circulate on fan sites, with each repost escalating the controversy. Skeptics pointed to audio glitches as evidence of digital tampering, as commentators debated whether Erica's camp was using maternal instincts to engineer headlines. According to the leak, his manager told a public relations consultant to emphasize his commitment to fatherhood but suggests the public waits for official documents. Regarding creating talking points and getting ready for a live interview, readers questioned if Mendeecees was being led by sincere regret or by a group determined to save his reputation. The family was split, and some family members complained about the never-ending drama. While some argued that such strategic communication was essential in today's media environment, personal ties broke down amid planned remarks and calculated disclosures. One of Erica's long-standing friends recounted an emotionally charged phone call in which Erica admitted, "I feel like I've betrayed him before I even tried to trust him." The buddy, who remained nameless, described how Erica cried throughout the talk, caught between fear of being abandoned and fear of being called manipulative. Her vulnerability struck a chord with listeners who called for sympathy and reminded them that she is a human being and not just a scandal. At the same time, she was Mendeecees' confidant. Disclosed that he withdrew to a remote rental with nothing but his thoughts and legal documents, finding it difficult to balance his appearance as a man under siege with his role as a protective father. As these private moments surfaced, a startling new voice appeared. A tech journalist with expertise in digital forensics. Following an analysis of the metadata of leaked screenshots and audio files, the journalist released a report indicating that several photographs had indications of alteration, including typefaces that did not match, incorrect timestamps, and untraceable file sources. The research did not go so far as to exonerate Erica, but seriously questioned the most dramatic allegations. While some fans were prepared to criticize her, some changed their minds and praised the journalist's work as a digital detective. In the midst of this chaos, Erica's therapist found herself in the spotlight after an unconfirmed document purportedly detailing private therapy notes was released on a contentious website. However, the analysis added new doubt to a story that threatened to solidify into black and white camps. Mental health activists denounced the breach and denounced any disclosure of private therapy data, but in the court of public opinion, the leaked notes revealed Erica's ingrained fears of abandonment and her propensity to seek control in relationships. Took on a life of their own, with some viewers identifying with Erica as a woman battling anxiety, and others seeing the words as evidence of deliberate emotional manipulation as the story advanced one last unexpected changed expectations. When a former neighbor of Erica's shared a shocking interview clip revealing that she had been spotted pacing her porch late at night while talking on her phone, fans made wild guesses about the identity of the unseen listener, Mendeecees, a producer. The ambiguity sparked still another round of analysis, with conspiracy theorists declaring the clip to be unquestionable proof of Erica's plan, and commentators arguing that overheard words taken out of context could be misleading. Pundits questioned the morality of using genuine emotions for entertainment as the story became more complicated and polarized. Fan camps raged in comment threads using hashtags like #DDean or not and trust but verify. Private discussions, therapy sessions, and family get-togethers all played out in the court of public opinion, with network insiders navigating legal minefields while juggling the demand for ratings against the possibility of lawsuits. Participants were helpless to stop the never-ending cycle of leaks and reactions, and just when it appeared that the drama could come to a standstill, Mendeecees subtly shared a single sentence on his feed: "Truth is never silent." The caption did not provide any explanation. Instead, it fueled the flames of excitement. Fans, anticipated the following installment, knowing that the line between spectacle and truth remained constantly blurred in this narrative. Was this a philosophical position intended to quell conjecture or a promise of an impending revelation? The quest for clarity appeared would go on in live streams, leaked documents, and well-crafted statements. Every new piece of information changes the plot and keeps viewers riveted to the drama as it develops. The moment Mendeecees shared the truth the internet never stopped speculating as fans looked everywhere on social media for hints. Some interpreted it as a guarantee that he would make the DNA test results public when the baby was born, while others interpreted it as a covert command to Erica speak. Both sides could not afford to ignore this cryptic message, which set the stage for the following round of drama. In the meantime, Erica found herself navigating a minefield of conflicting signals. One morning, a close friend came to her house with, "They're calling manipulative," the buddy whispered softly as Erica let out a breath and ran a hand through her eyes as she looked through her notifications in the kitchen, the lines around her eyes growing deeper with anxiety. "I never wanted any of this to become public," she said. "I just needed answers for my baby." Her voice rang with genuine honesty. Mendeecees held a private strategic meeting with his legal team across town. The small, windowless, and quiet room was a sharp contrast to the digital pandemonium outside, reminding viewers who had grown tired of the rumor mill that there was genuine human anxiety behind every story. "Push for a court-ordered DNA test after the delivery, or wait for Erica to consent willingly," his lawyer warned, outlining the alternatives. "We can't force her hand without facing additional blowback," Mendeecees said, nodding slowly as his fingers tapped the table. "I just want the truth," he whispered, and that straightforward admission resonated with many admirers. Despite the drama, the fundamental problem went unresolved as rumors of a court date circulated, and social media influencers fought for control of one well-liked relationship. A pundit released a video that analyzed the morality of covert DNA testing, presenting it as a warning about communication and trust. The video went viral, garnering millions of views and igniting contentious discussion threads. While some applauded her fair viewpoint, others criticized her of preaching at the expense of amusement. But her analysis brought a level of reflection to the show, making viewers consider if they had gone too far in digesting all the personal information about Erica's family. Her sister Omar Rosa having wrote a well-crafted remark after receiving legal counsel's advice. "Please keep in mind that a kid is involved. Our emotions are filled with both hope and worry." The post struck a tricky line by expressing sympathy, without downplaying the fans' reactions to the controversy were diverse. Many expressed support, but others bemoaned the fact that family pleas suddenly felt staged. The line between real emotion and public PR tactics became increasingly hazy, and Mendeecees' family used hidden channels. In an attempt to directly portray Mendeecees' viewpoint, his cousin Jamal set up a private group video chat with a few prominent fan bloggers. The bloggers were asked questions, and Mendeecees talked extensively about his dedication to parenting and his suffering at being implicated. One blogger later characterized the session as oddly therapeutic, pointing out that hearing his sincere tone made some people turn back toward him. Skeptics, however, saw it as just another calculated ploy, highlighting how every action was seen through a suspicious prism. A rare moment of camaraderie broke out amid these divisive tales when Erica and Mendeecees suddenly ran into one another in a backstage hallway at a non-profit gala where they had both planned to participate separately. One grainy snapshot recorded the moment Erica's. When the picture went viral, fans let out a collective sigh of hope that perhaps reconciliation was possible, but others cautioned that it might not be. A hand hovered near Mendeecees' arm as they spoke in low tones. Neither of them smiled, but the closeness suggested a bond that legal documents and leaked video could not break. The network that runs their reality program saw an opening and presented a live special to chronicle the baby's arrival, portraying it as a time of unity and fresh starts. Executives discussed whether to incorporate live comments from the fee, ultimately decided to shoot the delivery room door, recording only the moments before and after birth, maintaining intimacy while still engrossing viewers in the family's story. Critics debated whether to cut away to pre-recorded bits or to show Erica and Mendeecees said that this made it difficult to distinguish between celebration and intrusion, but ratings indicated that viewers would watch nevertheless. As the anticipated court date drew near, legal documents provided enticing previews, and Mendeecees' counsel filed a request citing the attached metadata analyses from digital forensics experts, claiming inconsistencies in file origins, along with leaked lab screenshots and a request for an order compelling Erica to disclose any evidence of alias registrations. In response, Erica's team filed an opposition, describing the motion as an intrusive tactic and cautioning that, in the midst of the procedural barrage, fan pages gathered and summarized the filings in simplified postings, flooding social feeds with bite-sized drama updates. Despite the fact that compelling medical disclosures could breach her privacy and the baby's best interests. A new audio recording from one of Erica's confidants revealed a phone conversation in which she challenged her manager. "We need to pivot," she said, her tone tinged with desperation. "This story is going off the rails, and all I want is my child's life to be normal." "We're in crisis mode. There's no normal now," the manager calmly retorted. Defenders argued that Erica's candor demonstrated real distress rather than manipulation, while listeners saw her waning determination as proof of regret. As the days passed, supporters split into two groups, created a petition asking the network to donate a portion of its specials ad revenue to children's charities, and another started a fundraiser for pregnancy support, calling it Healing Over Headlines. These acts of activism demonstrated how involved viewers had become, turning them from passive spectators into participants. Erica and Mendeecees uploaded last teasers on their respective channels on the eve of the court hearing, with Erica sharing a photo. However, the question remained, was the scandal empowering beneficial action or diverting attention from harsh concerns of privacy and respect? Mendeecees shared a sunrise photo over the city with the remark, "I hope you have a good day." He didn't specifically mention the DNA test, but fans interpreted the pictures as a metaphor for, "Our hearts are in their hands." The digital suspense reached a fever pitch as midnight passed, and court documents were scheduled to drop at dawn. When the filings eventually surfaced, the judge made a ruling. Another remark read, "They need to come together now." Short order. Any paternity issue would be postponed until after the baby was born, when voluntary testing could be considered. Mediation would begin with an emphasis on co-parenting plans. Motions to compel evidence and to quash subpoenas were both filed in favor of Mendeecees clutched his hands in relief as Erica released tears that glistened in the private negotiation. The decision disappointed those who were hoping for a fast resolution but was in line with the judge's stated wish to preserve the well-being of the unborn child. Courtroom lighting. Outside, the response was quick. Fans were split again, with some applauding the ruling as a humane move and others denouncing it as a legal evasion that delayed responsibility. Trending hashtags on social media included "Mediate the Mediation" and "Baby First In." The reminder of a life on the verge of birth provided a somber counterpoint to weeks of scandalous headlines, and as the sun set on this part of the story, a rare note of accord emerged from the whirl of criticism. Both sides had been warned to put the child's needs above public disputes. While Erica and Mendeecees navigated the unfamiliar realm of parenthood under public attention, one concept won out. The next act would take place behind closed doors, away from prying cameras and rumor mills. The leaked communications, the only thing that was certain at this point was that their narrative, like the life they built together, would defy quick conclusions and require the most in-depth attention, one that is based on empathy rather than voyeurism, after lawsuits and viral videos. Therefore, The drama temporarily subsided as a result of the court's gentle prodding toward resolution, waiting for the day when 2 lives and 1 child would permanently alter the course of events. When Erica went into labor, the world appeared to stop in anticipation of the most recent chapter to be revealed. According to reports, Mendeecees was with her in the hospital room, pacing the sterile hallway in a clean white shirt and face mask. Her eyes were tired but resolute. Inside, Erica held her sister's hand while staff hurried in and out. The sound of the monitor's beeping accompanied her anxiety and excitement. As the contractions intensified, Erica's doula reminded her to breathe. Friends and family waited in a private lounge, phones muted, but notifications fluttered with fan updates, each ping serving as a reminder that this birth was more than a private moment. It was the culmination of weeks of rumors, lawsuits, and leaked secrets. Concentrate on the child she was carrying instead of the scandal that had surrounded her pregnancy. You are stronger than you know, the doula reassured her, urging her to put all of her strength into every push. Somewhere in the corridor, Mendeecees stopped and took a reassuring breath. Doctor cameras were not allowed in the delivery room, but behind the closed door, the couple's hands connected across a plain white sheeting, their fingers intertwined, in wordless solidarity. He then nodded back, bracing himself for whatever came next. The cries of a baby broke the tension after what seemed like an age and a heartbeat. "It's a boy," the nurse said gently, placing the small bundle on Erica's bosom. Tears ran down her cheeks as Mendeecees stepped in his hand, quivering. We did it, Mendeecees said, brushing a lock of sweaty hair back from the baby's brow. For a heartbeat, the moment was more than just love and relief. "He's everything," Erica said, her eyes meeting his, heavy and full of love and tiredness. Their eyes shouted loudly together. Despite everything, they had created a new life together. There was silence in the family lounge before there was a burst of joy. Erica's mother sobbed into a handkerchief and hugged Omar Rosa, who had been pacing the hallway for hours. Jamal Mendeecees sent his relatives a series of rapid texts instructing them to come to the hospital. A network photographer captured the occasion on camera, capturing the warm embraces and muted congrats before the families withdrew, to give the new parents some peace. Circulated immediately online, with fans flooding timelines with prayers and congratulations, opting to celebrate first and debate later. Hours later, Erica and Mendeecees settled into a dimly lit postpartum room and revisited the most viral moment of their lives. A close friend took a brief phone video. There were no faces, only a glimpse of the newborn's small hand around Mendeecees' finger. "We have him," Mendeecees murmured in a voice that was a mix of pride and amazement. That video was given by a reliable source. Millions of people viewed the insider's story in a matter of minutes, and comments were flooded with excitement. Some people provided parenting advice, while others apologized for previous judgments. It felt like a brief pause in the battle for public opinion, demonstrating that despite controversy and strategy, families' came first. But the DNA question's shadow persisted even in this sanctuary. Later that night, after Erica had fallen, asleep with the baby nestled on her chest, Mendeecees gently roused her. "It's time," he said softly, and Erica nodded, realizing that the promise of clarity necessitated action. Together they made a video statement. Mendeecees began by saying, "I want to honor my word. We will do a DNA test once our son is strong. Enough." Erica added, "This child deserves truth and integrity. Love no less." The video concluded with them kissing their son's forehead, and they prepared for the reactions that would ensue. The post quickly became inundated with notifications, and messages of support flooded in. Congratulations and thanks for fulfilling the promise, real love. Critics also said, "Why wait? Is this enough?" Yet most people appeared moved by the The network that tracks engagement numbers revealed plans to broadcast a special episode that will spotlight the couple's birth story and the promise of the DNA test, portraying it as the next phase in the family's journey rather than a spectacular gimmick. After the baby turned 6 weeks old, lawyers prepared the necessary paperwork for a voluntary paternity test to be conducted. Mendeecees' lawyer created an agreement detailing test procedures, confidentiality safeguards, and the public dissemination of the results, which Erica's counsel examined every provision to guarantee that both her and their son's privacy were safeguarded. The careful negotiation was a far cry from the flurry of leaking rumors, and both parties agreed that taking legal disputes to court would only be detrimental to the child's welfare. Instead, they decided on a course of action based on collaboration and respect for one another. As the following day dawned, the network broadcast the video statement regarding the DNA test and the special interwoven footage of the labor room door family congratulating the family. Narrators spoke warmly about fresh starts and the strength of promises. Millions of viewers watched, some moved to tears, others doubtful but interested. At the end, the screen went black with text, and the next segment featured the DNA test, urging viewers to stay tuned for the revelation. Social media was buzzing. In the calm that followed the show, Erica hugged her kid close, feeling the weight of all they had gone through. Mendeecees sat next to her, tracing the tale. Denapter and Moo Baby trended with expectation, indicating that the public was still interested in this family story despite weeks of animosity. Erica nodded, her heart full but cautious. The road ahead would challenge them as they co-parented, navigated celebrity, and faced a world that never forgets. "We're going to be okay," he whispered, more to convince himself than to her. In novel ways, but for the time being, as mother and father, they found serenity in their mutual pledge. Outside the hospital, supporters flocked to leave flowers and supportive messages, turning sidewalks into temporary shrines of hope. The tone of gossip blogs changed to focus on, instead of focusing on the scandal, commentators focused on the birth and the promise. Some even called for a reevaluation of previous judgments, acknowledging that a rumor about a hurried DNA test had overshadowed the humanity at the heart of the story, flowers and best wishes. But a final rumor of stress emerged when an unconfirmed text message purporting to be from a lab coordinator leaked on a fan forum, indicating that the voluntary test agreement contained a provision for Erica to postpone testing if the baby was. Fans jumped in, asking, was this a sign of residual mistrust or a practical consideration? The text said, "We can change timeline dependent on health, but document must remain." Safeguard. The leak rekindled discussion as the Globe stopped to rejoice, reminding everyone that in this story, there is never absolute assurance. Erica and Mendeecees entered the next chapter with an infant in their arms and a promise in the making. The birth had temporarily brought them together, but as you watch them, the DNA test loomed as the final arbitrator of truth. Traverse these unfamiliar waters. Keep in mind that real life frequently unfolds on the edges of controversy where love, trust, and a child's future are in precarious balance. The next step may be a straightforward lab result or the surprising decisions of two parents who are determined to. It's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Erica and Mendeecees will fulfill their commitment and provide a clear response for their case? You've seen the tension that spills, the legal battles, and finally the moment when new life provided a chance for unity. Please share your opinions below. Tell us which moment most affected you and where you believe their path will go next. Will uncertainties and delays continue to shroud this story? What lesson do you learn about trust, communication, and the cost of public scrutiny? If this in-depth look into their lives kept you on the edge of your seat, please click like to show your support and subscribe to stay up to date on every development, from the upcoming DNA test to their life as new parents in the spotlight. By participating in the conversation, you helped shape the narrative beyond the headlines. We appreciate your time and will see you in the next installment of Erica and Mendeecees' story, The Store. Please ring the bell to ensure that you never miss an episode of our exclusive coverage where we reveal the most dramatic stories on reality television.